Welcome to the Narrowboat that James built. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me on the boat today. I hope you had a lovely Christmas time. I certainly did, but I've got to say it does feel really good to be back here because there is so much to be cracking on with. Thank you so much for all of your messages over Christmas. It was really touching, really nice that you take the effort to pass on season's greetings. So thank you very much for that. And as I said, it's great to be back. It feels like home, to be honest. Now, really, the priority is to make it feel like home in all senses of the word. So there's a massive list to be getting on with. It's a little bit overwhelming, to be honest. I'll bring you up to speed. So if you've recently subscribed or watching for the first time, I did really want the boat to be livable and on the water before Christmas. Now, clearly, that's not the case. So the plan is really to launch, i.e. put it in the water, ideally beginning the 11th of Jan, which kind of gives me 2 weeks from now to get as much of the work done as I can. I said my plan is for it to be livable, not finished by any stretch of the imagination at all. I mean, we're talking years away, certainly by the looks of things at the moment, for that to be the case, but certainly livable, i.e. gas, electric, water, lighting, everything like that. The stove being in as opposed to my guitar stand occupying the fireplace. It just needs to be ready. So there's a massive amount to do. And it's a little bit overwhelming. I've got my list here. I'll talk you through kind of the next stages. And actually, Ian mentioned, said it on one of the comments before Christmas, that I seem to be just like him. I seem to start jobs and not finish them. And to be honest, that is pretty much me. And I don't know if that's true of everyone doing a narrowboat, but it seems to be certainly the way I'm doing it, is you do bits and then you have to move on. I mean, there are some things you can't do until other things are done. So you can't put the stove in until you've built the fireplace. And you can't really do the stove install until you've got a day where it's not hammering down with rain. So there's a few things like that which you can't do until certain things are done. But yeah, I get your point, and it is a bit like that. I'm just hoping that one day it kind of all comes together and it's like, oh, all those bits got finished. So anyway, here's hoping. Really, there's a massive amount to do. Breaking it down into the main areas, it's really electrics. So in terms of that, I need to install the solar. So I need to get solar ready. That means the battery bank needs to be made. The battery checks need to be finished. I'm hoping that we're going to stay with the 3 batteries that I've currently got, which is 330 amp hours, which is enough for what I need. If that's the case, then that's great, and I'll upgrade them all and get 3 new ones at a later date. But for the moment, hopefully that'll be fine. Need to get the solar panels, install them, and then do all of the electrical gubbins, which is a massive rigmarole. I've kind of got my head around quite a bit of it over the Christmas time. I feel like I know a bit more, but it's still a load to do. So buying the kit and then installing the kit is 2 kind of separate headaches. There's loads of work that needs to happen on the stern gland and the stern as a whole. So as I mentioned before Christmas, we've been let down with the stern gland. We're not going to get that until the 4th of Jan. Then kind of a couple of days work and it'll be done for Paul. That's why we're hoping 11th of Jan is when we can launch. So, but it's not just the stern gland. The actual deck needs to be sorted out. I've got no idea how to orientate everything. So if anyone's got any ideas, you know what the kind of the layout is. My stern doors are on the starboard side. They open outwards. There are steps going into the cruiser stern, so it's not into the boat like some. And there's a big overhang area where the door is. So I'm thinking either box the door in and do something where you don't catch your fingers in it, or I don't know, or put a railing up or something. But I can't have it where you got a 3-foot drop. That's never going to work. So that needs some attention. And also I need to clean it out. The bilges down there. I haven't done anything to the engine bay at all. It's still filled with crap, leaves, oil, everything like that. So it all needs to be cleaned out. So Paul's at least got a half decent area to work in when he gets round to, well, when we get the stern gland sorted out in a couple of weeks or next week. So that's that to do. Obviously I've got to finish the fire install. All I've got to do is hope for a decent day's weather, as I said, and that should be fine. I need to obviously part of the electrics, in terms of good weather, I need to do the rust treatment and red oxide and prime the areas where the LED nav lights are going and the tunnel lights, just so that once I've put them on, they're on decent paint. As I said, I'm just going to hopefully get the whole lot primed. I did mention about grinding loads of seams down, and I've had loads of comments saying don't do that, so I'm not going to do that, which is good news because it means I can just kind of smarten them up a little bit and then prime the boat. So that makes it a lot easier than having to grind down all of them. But I need to do the areas where the lights are going kind of straight away. And I've got to do a few layers of black bitumen on the outside. You just got to really lap it on thick, kind of with a mop or something like that, and just loads of it. It's really mucky. It's horrible work to do. But kind of every day there's decent weather, I've got to take that as an opportunity to do that. And if I can get 3 or 4 coats done over the next 2 weeks, great. Obviously you can see I haven't got any walls or ceiling in yet. I need to do that. Obviously I can't do that until the electrics are in, so really wiring is a priority this week. And alongside wiring, I need to get my aerial and bits and pieces like that all put in at the same time. Bathroom, I need to get the shower installed and the gulper and all that kind of stuff like that. And then I need to finish the bedroom, which is kind of where I currently am now. Well, not physically, but last time you saw me, I was doing the bow, and I need to carry on with that, just because that's kind of what I was doing. And it's night time now, so obviously that's an ideal thing just to crack on with and get as much of that done as I can. And I really still need to draw out and work out what I'm doing with the rest of the bedroom. I think I've worked it out pretty much, but I just need to finish that, and then I can move on to everything else. So I'm going to crack on with that and get that bit finished. But that's it really. It's full on. There's loads of stuff going on, yeah, thanks for joining me, and here we go. So here is how we left it last. What I'm doing now, well, I've just put a new across one batten in there, and now I'm just going to go and put the uprights in here down to there. So I've moved the water pump temporarily so I can get this in place first. Right, so I've put in one of those uprights now using one of those brackets that I bought. So that's straight and true, and it gives me a place to mount some of the pipes going to and from the accumulator tank there. So now I'm going to put another one on this side. Okay, so here is the first, or the base layer, kind of completed. So I've got the battens running all the way to the back, or to the front should we say. They're all secured in. I've got 2 uprights there for the pipes. So now I need to put in the bit of floor here, and then think about maybe putting another set of battens up there at that level to take the next layer. I think that's what I've got to do now, but I might have a cup of tea and ponder it for a little bit. Don't want to rush in and get it wrong. Okay, so I've added the new bit of floor just down there, and this is really the only bit that you're going to be standing on. The step bit there that I've designed is going to occupy that area, and the bed is going to basically be from about here. But this is the only place that you'd be able to kind of put your foot, but it's nice and level with the other floor, obviously. The other thing I'd like to do before I do any more work around the tank is to swap the hot and cold around, so that the cold is on the bottom and the hot is the second one up, and that'll give some room still for the central heating pipes that still need to go down this port side. That's pretty much as I'm leaving it for this evening. Well, that's really it for tonight. I think in terms of my work on the bow, I've put in the uprights, that's in, and now I'm just trying to work out what I need to do with these lockers. I want to make some lockers to go down here. So, and they also need to provide the strength and the rigidity for the platform to go above it. This area at the back here I'm going to box in, so it's going to be a piece going straight across, going up. So if I can cut it properly, then I'll put that in. If not, I'll come up with a different solution. But I think that'll be fine, and that gives me some area there that I can put some pipe behind to one day use it as a filler for this tank. Obviously, the filler for the tank as it currently is needs to be accessible. So I don't really want anything above this area. There will be kind of nothing directly above this because I'll have to take stuff out to fill it up. It's going to be a bit of a rigmarole anyway. I might come up with some kind of temporary solution, but really that's about it. But I want to make some lockers down the sides here, so that's going to be just sheets of ply just to create a bit of sides. And again, this area up here is all just going to be more CLS to create this. And this is going to be like a series of lockers just with little lids that you can lift in and out, and then 2 cushions to go on the top. So really, I haven't got a huge amount of room to play with here along the sides because I still want. I think really it's going to be about 250 high from here, because I'm going to have a foam mattress on the top of this, which is probably going to be about 75 mil, something like that. And then you're still going to want a little bit of space underneath the upper wall there. So so a child or even an adult possibly could lie widthways. So I'm just going to work that out. So I mean, these aren't going to be big, but this, they're not going to be deep, but there's a sizable area there, so they're going to be useful for something or other. So yeah, I've got to kind of crack on with that. The floor's in, so I can start to put that step together, although that will probably be the last thing to go in this kind of setup. And I've got to run the conduit down for this. Really, that's one of the tasks for later on. It's quite a quiet task, so I won't upset any neighbours in doing that. But yeah, I've got to kind of put in quite a bit more conduit in the bedroom to take in the cabling for the various bits and pieces, lighting and various things. So I've got to kind of do all that tonight. So yeah, that's it. And I've got to swap around the pipes as well. That's another thing. I've got to cold on to hot, so I've got to do that as well, which should be fine. Annoyingly, there's a pipe running behind the fireplace, which I've just done, so I should have probably done that beforehand. But hey ho, live and learn. It feels great being back on the boat, cracking on with work. It feels like it's progressing forward again, so that's nice. I need to really get the fire installed, the stove installed, because it is getting really, really cold, and I think we're in for quite a cold spell over here. Even though when I got back, I put the blow heater on for a little bit, and the boat, once it gets up to temperature, this insulation, it works really well. It's nice and toasty warm in here. So, but once the fire's on, then yeah, that'll be great to get that done. So that'll make a real kind of different type of heat in the boat as well, which is, it's a nicer heat, and it's a smell, it's everything. So yeah, that'll be great, and it will give me something to look at other than messy worktops, bits of CLS everywhere. So it'll be something else to look at and watch, which will be nice. So hopefully that can go in tomorrow, depending on the weather. I think it might be snowing, so that doesn't sound like fun, being on the roof with a jigsaw in the snow, but might have to. Anyway, thank you again for watching. Hope you're very well. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.